All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Elon Musk issues chilling warning. Just a matter of time. All right, let's check it out. Let's see where this takes us, guys. A matter of time.
Newly obtained White House records reveal the Biden administration admitted to flying hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants into the country. Now, those records were obtained by the Center for Immigration Studies through a FOIA lawsuit, and they show that over
didn't know we were getting into this today, but all right, let's go.
320,000 migrants were flown over the border using Biden's CBP-1 app. However, in responding to that info request, listen to this.
Well, there's an app.
The administration refused to reveal just which U.S. airports those migrants landed at. At the Center for Immigration Studies writes, quote, "The public can't know the receiving airports because those hundreds of thousands of CBP-authorized arrivals have created such operational vulnerabilities at airports that bad actors could undermine law enforcement efforts to secure the United States border if they even knew the volume of CBP-1 traffic processed at each port of entry." Ooh. Frightening is an understatement.
Hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and say one of those ports are probably Atlanta. The reason why I'm saying this is because recently there has been like a lot of like chatter in one of the counties known as Gwinnett County, where there are apparently like police officers like searching for these people that are coming in. There's just been a couple of things happening. I see this all over my Facebook, and I'm just like, is that happening here? Right? So that's an interesting thing. So I'm going to say that most likely one of these places of entry is going to be Atlanta, being that Hartsfield-Jackson Airport is here, one of the largest in the world, if not the largest airport in the world.
And Elon Musk weighing in, saying this, quote, "This administration is both importing voters and creating a national security threat from unvetted illegal immigrants." All
right, really quickly, based off this statement here, importing voters. The interesting thing about that is that the people that are coming in are highly doubtful that they are going to vote anything Democrat-oriented, even though the Democrats are giving them basically everything. They're coming from countries that have generally suffered pretty heavily from dictatorial socialism, let's say. Please understand there's a massive difference between all these things, right? But specifically Venezuela. If they're coming from Venezuela, if you think that they're going to vote for anything left, that's not happening. They come from the worst example of left that you could possibly be. So the concept of importing voters sounds, and always has sounded, absolutely crazy to me, specifically these people that are like, for example, Cuban migrants. When they would come in like the early 2000s and late 90s, these individuals are coming from countries that have been absolutely ravaged by dictator type socialism, right? They're not voting left.
It is highly probable that the groundwork is being laid for something far worse than 9/11. He writes, "Just a matter of time."
Okay.
Hemmer.
Well, he's wrong about that last one there. I remember it was White Plains, New York, when the first flights started coming in. I just looked it up. It was October 2021. Those were underage migrants who were down the border in Texas that were flown up to White Plains. You remember the outrage there, and this was done under the cover of night. Everybody thought, what's going up out there? The Center for Immigration Studies took a look at this. They think it's legally dubious that you'd be able to do this, fly from another country up here. But in all likelihood, it's Venezuela, because that's where the app is being used a lot.
I'm good. Again, it's definitely Venezuela.
And perhaps Cuba as well. There's a few other countries that were listed here: Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, Colombia, Ecuador. I said a few. El Salvador, on and on the list goes. They should tell us where they're coming from, and they should tell us where they're going now.
That's right. And there were questions about, remember, the actual ages of those underage migrants, because many of them were posing as juveniles, and in fact we learned were actually on certain recidivist lists that shouldn't be there. The whole question, to Bill's point, is that, all right, so we know a handful of where they're from. Where are they going? Where are they now? And why are American citizens not being told? Why are these towns not being told until a flood just comes undernight and undermines everything?
Well, can I just say thank you, Elon? I totally agree with everything you said in your tweet. I mean, I've heard Democrats try to make the argument of, oh, illegal aliens don't commit crimes at a higher rate than native-born Americans. But are you not increasing the odds when you're letting well, first of all, I don't believe that, because they're already breaking the law in coming here or taking advantage of our system.
Exactly.
But
listen to that caveat. They're either breaking. Listen. That's a nice save right there. Right? They're either breaking the law or they are taking advantage. Which one is it? Because these are two different things, right? I mean, taking advantage of something is what the Americans do all day long with government assistance, right? A lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot, but a too large of a number of people take advantage of government assistance, right? So that's a thing that happens here. I get it. The Americans are paying taxes. They should be able to if they do, right? But still, listen to the caveat. So really quickly, so I just had to Google to find out about these secret migrant flights really quickly. So apparently what they're saying is absolutely factually true. There are plans. I mean, yes, there are actually several programs that allow migrants who otherwise may be ineligible for admission into the United States to fly into an American airport. These programs exist for options that basically have issues with travel to the United States of America. This is apparently not a brand new program, though. This is under the DHS. Mainly for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, Ukrainians, and helping with family reunification. Now, the question here is it secret? No, you can literally just go to the website. So the statement of if this is some like secret thing that's happening, it's not. Apparently the website is just is available. You can go to the USCIS website along with the CBP website. This is in fact not secret, but does everyone know? No, they're not making a big deal about it, but it's definitely not secret. Let's continue.
Rate the native-born Americans, but are you not increasing the odds when you're letting well, first of all, I don't believe that because they're already breaking the law in coming here or taking advantage of our system. But you're increasing the odds when you're letting millions of people enter into the United States, also a record number on the terror watch list as well. So you're of course increasing the odds. And I think the reason why
I'll give you that. I'll absolutely give you that.
We're seeing all this happen is something that Biden's AG, Merrick Garland, said the other day. And he said that voter ID requirements and restrictions in ballot boxes are discriminatory, burdensome, and unnecessary. So you're simultaneously allowing millions of people to enter into the United States, newcomers, as Joe Biden says it, while also saying you want to get rid of voter ID requirements. You do the math.
Yeah, well, look, a new way.
We can do the math. They're not going to... Guys, look at Cuban migrants that have settled in Miami, Little Haiti, or Hialeah area, Hollywood area. Okay, look at that very specific pocket. These are majority Cuban migrants. How do they vote? Right. This is a wild. I mean, I get it. You want to say that makes sense, but it doesn't, because based off everything that we know specifically about the people that are coming from these countries is that they are fleeing extreme left-wing ideologies. So why would they be busing them in specifically? It doesn't make any sense, bro.
To get around a checkpoint.
If that's the point you're making.
Come in by air. And the fact that they're unvetted is exactly what they're doing. They're coming in illegally then. Because if you're legal and you're going to a checkpoint, you got to, albeit it's not enough vetting, but at least some approach is tried at that point. But if you're coming this way, no. And you know who first alerted me to this? It was toward the beginning of Biden's administration. Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee said, Harris, I've got a couple pictures. There are these flights that are landing with kids in the middle of the night in my state of Tennessee. They are so practiced at doing this. I wonder now, though, that Haiti has completely fallen to the hands of lawlessness, if they'll be helping out Haiti. You see, those people...
No. None of the countries in the West will ever help Haiti. None of them ever will help it. There's no assistance to Haiti ever. I think that was the rule from when they rebelled like 300 years ago.
To the hands of lawlessness, if they'll be helping out Haiti. You see, those people actually, at this point, have a reason for asylum. I can't promise you, though, they'd vote for you. I don't know. You'd have to talk with each of them. So, Biden, don't insult anybody by telling them that just because you flew the black people here, if you choose to do that, they'll
You're conflating issues.
Actually, at this point, have a reason for asylum. I can't promise you, though, they'd vote for you.
And this is the same argument, though. It seems like she's trying her hardest to bring up the color of people's skin for some odd reason I don't understand.
Don't know. You'd have to talk with each of them. So Biden, don't insult anybody by telling them that just because you flew the black people here, if you choose to do that, they'll vote for you. But my question is, why the countries that are on that list? The lawlessness in Venezuela is heart disturbing. I mean, is there a reason for asylum for them? You've already said 500,000 could have visas. I think we need to know now the details, because he's practiced at this. His administration is with flying these kids around.
That's right. And those ghost flights, this is in addition to that. And to your point about Venezuela, we know that the organized crime, the organized gang unit activity, the narco cartels are thriving right now on a human smuggling and a concerted effort to push those Venezuelans across the border of certain dubious nature and intents. Like the questions are massive, but we can see the result. The writing's on the wall. Elon Musk said it, and we know what's happening to our cities that are being depleted of all resources and safety.
So you make a really good point. Those ghost flights are the flights with those minors. We learned about these family reunification flights by the Center of Immigration Studies, by a FOIA request, a separate flight program. I bring this up because
You probably didn't have to request it. I'm looking at it on their site. Okay. And they're also, the thing about it is, specifically through CBP-1, apparently, the government is in fact not paying for these flights. They are in fact responsible for the cost of travel to the United States of America. The authorization does not guarantee the applicant to stay in the country once they arrive. Apparently they're sent to an officer, and they can choose to either deny the migrant parole after their appointment at the original point of entry in case the airport. And apparently, another thing here, additionally, the government only authorizes parolees who could prove they have a sponsor capable or are willing to financially support them. And the reason why I'm going to go ahead and say this is an interesting statement here is because, again, guys, I live on 2 continents, right? So my wife is from Spain. My kid is from Spain. They are both Spanish nationals. And whenever we come to the United States of America, when we did have to file all the paperwork, she could not be here, right? Like under any circumstance, can she be here without me making above the national poverty line, right? So I hear what they're saying here, but it's just the weirdest thing in the world, as I know my literal experience with immigrating my kid and my wife, and then also myself immigrating into Europe. It's just it's a weird thing to hear, guys.
a FOIA request from a private organization figured this out. There's so much secrecy on the border. I believe one day we'll look back and we will see that the Friday number dumps of illegal immigrants. We'll look back and see the emergency intake facilities that were so opaque, kids eating raw chicken feathers, kids on suicide watch lists. We will learn a lot if reporters do their digging, if more FOIA requests come. And then finally, the last point is the parking garages in Brownsville where illegal immigrants were being processed through. That's just a little we learned from reporters doing digging. Imagine if all the press, all the liberal press, did the digging.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg. And remember this from a president.
I'll agree. Not just liberal press, whatever. I think all people should be speaking about it, specifically on actual news stations, not Fox News, but like actual news. Okay, if these people are going to actually speak on anything regarding the literal migrant crisis that we're suffering through in the United States of America currently, I think everyone should be speaking loudly about all the things that are going on, so we know that the concept of CBP specifically came out during Harry S. Truman in 1950. Okay, so if we can speak coherently about these things, for some reason they're making it seem like this very specific program is new. When it is in fact not. It began in 1950, and then 1996 there was a reform, and then it just basically moved on and on and on, and just kept changing names and offices basically up until 2007. Right, so this is not a new thing that we're talking about at all. Everyone needs to know, but does everyone care? No, they care about, unfortunately, taglines. That's it.
President who promised transparency
Headlines.
in government. More outnumbered in just a moment. Hey, everyone. I'm
All right. So overall, Elon Musk is saying it's just a matter of time. I generally, I like Elon Musk because he says, a lot of the times what exactly kind of needs to be said often, right? But This one here, he's slightly off the mark, I'd say. And that's crazy for me to say regarding Elon Musk, because again, I generally like Elon Musk, right? I generally like him. But it's just it's an old trope of people saying that they're bringing in people from outside of the country for a voting party. It would make sense if those people specifically were not fleeing the extremely left policies, right? Think about that for a second. But I don't know, that's all I can say about that, guys, basically. I really wish that people would get off of that very specific thing. There are other legitimate things that we can have conversations about, right? But not the voting thing. It doesn't make any sense. They don't vote left. They don't. Why would they? They're running from it. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.